Hey everybody, and welcome to my. This is Bobby Umar. I'm a four-time TEDx speaker and one of Inc. Magazine's top 100 leadership speakers. And welcome to my live. Thanks for the hearts. Welcome to my live Periscope with SEOPA Seizure Passion, and I'm excited to be here. I'm always here every week at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays to share topics to help you seize your passion, to follow the right path, whether it's an entrepreneur path or a business career path, or just a leadership path in general. So I'm glad you're here. My name is Bobby Umar. I'm from Toronto, Canada. Let me know below where you're from. I'm from Toronto, Canada, home of the Raptors, home of the Blue Jays. And although I'm excited for the Cubs in the World Series, that's kind of exciting too, even though the Blue Jays lost. And I got new glasses, which is kind of cool. Hope you like them. And if you like what you're hearing, share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter. Let's get more people part of the conversation. Tab, double tap, triple tap the hearts. We'd love to hear hearts. It's fantastic. My topic today is what blocks our deep connection. So, connection's great, but what about deep connection? Having deep connection with someone else, what blocks that? So I'm going to talk a bit about that. I welcome your comments below. I welcome your questions. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this topic. It's an important topic to me, and let's bring some more people into the conversation and really start getting some discussion going along. Okay, so thanks for joining me, and let's get right into it. So, connection is great. I mean, there's surface connection, and then there's pretty good connection, but then how do we get really, really deep in the connection? And, when I say deep connection, what does that mean? Deep connection where it's really a head, heart, and soul connection where people feel completely comfortable to share vulnerability, to share who they are, to approach deep and dark topics that they never would be able to otherwise, to have a connection with an intimate partner of your life, whether it's your romantic partner, or whether it's your family member, or your children, or your parents, or your siblings, or even like really, really close best friends. That deep connection is something that's just so important in our lives. It adds a lot of nurturing. It adds a lot of opportunity for growth, and so that's why it's so important. It's so important to have that. And when we all end our lives or near the end of our lives, we all lament the fact that we didn't have those deep connections or didn't make the most of them. So that's why it's important to understand that. So today we're going to talk about what blocks that deep connection. And again, I love the hearts. If you like what you're hearing, please, please share the hearts, share the love, let people in the conversation. And also you can visit all the videos that we made every week for the last months and months and months on seopa.com/stream. So check that out. So the first number one thing that blocks our deep connection, honestly, is our own pain. So a perfect example of that would be if I was in a relationship and I got stiffed by somebody and I'm kind of hurt by the distrust of a partner. When someone else wants to date me or get close to me, I have a wall. A wall goes up and I don't want to talk to them, or I don't want to expose myself or be vulnerable again. And so that blocks the opportunity for me to have a deep connection with this potential partner. So our own pain, whatever it may be, our own pain with our siblings, if I have pain with my siblings or with my parents, or a close friend who shafted you, or a business partner that shafted you, that type of pain will block you from wanting to take a deep dive, to take a risk, to try to to allow yourself to have that deep connection with somebody, because there's a fear of getting hurt, and there's a fear of having to go through those emotions and that pain again. So the first thing that really stops us from having the deep connection, and what blocks us, is our own pain. And so, how do you get around that? Well, being mindful and aware of the pain that you feel and what you're going through, that's going to help. Being able to trust a few people, whether it's one person, two people, or maybe even 5 or 6 really good confidants, to have them share their thoughts and help you get over that pain and build that trust. That's going to help you get past the block of the deep connection. Hope that makes sense. So that's the first one. Okay. The second thing that blocks deep connection is we often in conversations tend to stay on the surface. We talk about people and events, but we don't talk about ideas. We don't talk about really, really important things. So we stay on the surface. Why do we stay on the surface? Because it's comfortable. It's easy. Right? Hey, how about those Cubs in the World Series? Yeah, that's great. Hey, great weather we're having. Look at that. Is it really raining? Winter's coming soon. Fall's getting cold. Or the food we eat. Oh yeah, oh man, this was a great restaurant. That's awesome. And I'm not saying you can't do those things, but those are not the types of conversations that get you deep. I mean, can you talk about really deep things like, for example, there's an election going on in the U.S. Can you talk about politics and your values and what you believe in and the policies and ideas you care about? Can you talk about religion, spirituality, and the things that you hold deep? Can you talk about your fears as an entrepreneur? Can you talk about your struggle with parenting, or your struggle with your parents or your kids or with a friend? Can you give honest critique about what you struggle with? I talk about struggling with my health and my eating. Can you do that as opposed to just staying on the surface and talking about just things, material things, or things in our lives, or events, or people, what's going on? Oh, it's the Oscars. Oh, it's the baseball game. Oh, it's this. If you can really get past that and dive deep, staying on the surface is very, very easy. But if you want to, but it's still a block. And I've literally seen people have a surface conversation for like an hour, and I'm sitting there like watching, like, oh my God, are they going to get to anything useful? It's actually quite mind blowing to watch people do that. So, one of the blocks for blocking a deep connection is staying too much on the surface. All right, so that's another one. The third thing that blocks a deep connection is not taking risks. Now, if you want to have a deep connection, sometimes you got to take a risk. Now, sometimes it blows up in your face. So, like, I've had this situation where I say, listen, I really appreciate this friendship. I'd love to, have a really powerful conversation. Or I'll say, you know what, I really like to invest in this friendship. And once in a while, someone's like, well, that's a little bit too much for me. I can't handle that. And they back off because they're not comfortable. That's fine. That's like 1 out of every 10,000 people. It's very, very rare. But if you take the risk by either A, saying, I want to invest in this friendship, I want to take the conversation on a deeper, darker level, or just asking that question like, hey, what do you believe philosophically about X, Y, Z? What do you believe? What do you think about this election? What do you think about what's your religious background? What do you believe now? How have you changed? These are all things that if you ask the question or even just sharing it, hey, listen, I want to share something that profound that happened to me. The other day, I struggled with a depression for 2 hours and I just couldn't get out of bed. I mean, just sharing it, putting it out there, taking the risk to put stuff out there, that's going to create deeper connection. If you don't do that ever, then that's also a reason why you're going to block your deep connection. And I hope that and again, that's another one that's really, really important. So the first 3 things are the 5 that I have, what blocks your deep connection. Number 1, our own pain blocks us from wanting to deeply connect with somebody. Number 2, staying on the surface level of the types of conversations and connections we have and the things we talk about. And number 3, not taking the risk to share information, ask the bold question, or be willing to, if someone actually wants to go that route, to embrace it and take it on. Which kind of segues nicely into my fourth one. The fourth reason what blocks our deep connection is really, really listening. If someone really shares something and you just kind of dismiss it or don't take it into consideration, you have to, you might miss out. One time I was at an event, I was speaking at an event, and then after the event, people come up and talk to me about, what you said was great about personal branding and following your path and fighting for your life and whatever. So this one girl came up to me. She's very cool looking and very kind of sophisticated, and I was like, oh, okay. And I remember I noticed her before, but I didn't talk to her. And she's like, listen, I want to tell you that it really, really moved me, and because I sometimes, and then she started talking about it, and then all of a sudden she mentioned I sometimes struggle with it, and then I kind of said, and then I just said, hey, you know what? So I'm here. Tell me what you're struggling with. And then there was this pause, and she's just like looking at me, and then her eyes, she started blinking a lot. And then next thing you know, she started crying, started bawling. And I grabbed her, I gave her a big hug. I said, it's okay. Like, it's okay to feel pain. It's okay to express this. Don't feel bad about it. And the fact that I was willing to say, number 1, tell me what you're struggling with. Number 2, willing to take, this is stranger, isn't better. I held her for like 10 seconds and I said, it's okay, let's talk about it. And then we talked for 10 minutes about what she's struggling with. And she was actually a single mom that was in an abusive relationship, and she was struggling to take care of her son and in transition, and it was really hard for her. But really listening to the nuances of her body language and also the things she said, and I followed up, that really listening created a deep connection with her. And now, like, we've met several times and we've been good friends, and I had that deep connection with her. So that really helped. That created that deep connection. So if you really listen to people, you can really start to create deep connections. So don't block it by not listening to them. And then finally, the fifth thing I want to share, the fifth thing that blocks our deep connection is the idea of maintaining the relationship. So the deep connection. Often it's funny. Hi there. I'm actually from Canada. Welcome from Somalia. And again, everyone else who's on the call or listening here, tell me where you're from. I want to hear where you're from. That's great. So maintain the relationship. On Facebook, they say, what's your Facebook status? It's complicated. I'm in a relationship or I'm single. But there's no status update for maintaining a relationship or building a relationship. That's interesting to me, because every relationship has to be good. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Every relationship has to be something that you're always maintaining and growing. And so when it comes to deep connection, you have to be able to maintain the connection. You have to revisit. So some of your deepest connections, they sometimes need a reconnection. Sometimes they need to re-engage on those deep, powerful levels. I have one friend, she and I are really, really close. We have really deep, fantastic conversations. And what happens is, and one time we met for a coffee, and it was very surfacey for 30 minutes. I was like, you know what? What's going on here? Let's dive deep. Let's get back. Let's reconnect. Let's maintain that deep connection we have. And that to me is very, very important. Am I married? Good question. I try to be. I think I try to be a pretty positive dude. Hope you enjoy the chats. By all means, if you like what you're hearing, double tap the heart, share the love, share it on Facebook and Twitter. Check us out on sayopa.com/stream. So we're talking about the 5 things that block our deep connection with people. So you got to maintain that deep connection. You got to share. You got to show people that you care about those things, and that's what's really going to make a big impact on the deep connection. So to review the 5 things on what blocks deep connection. Number 1, our own pain. Our own pain prevents us from wanting to get into. Our own pain prevents us from wanting to get into what's really, really important. Number 2, staying on the surface level of our conversations and not diving deep. Number 3, not taking the risk to ask the right question or to really go on a path of deeper connection. Number 4, really listen to someone in terms of what they're saying and the nuances, and really trying to understand how they're feeling so you can create a bit better connection. And number 5, maintain a relationship of deep connections, because deep connection takes work. Deeper connection takes deeper work. So it's important for you to make sure you do that. So hope you enjoyed that. I'll be here every week, 11:45. Again, if you like what you hear, please share the love, share the heart, share with people. Let people know we're here every week at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Periscope with Siopa for Seize Your Passion. And I'll be here every week. I'll see you guys next week. Have an amazing day. Take care.